Godzilla 1962 here, and today we will be looking at my character concept for Godzilla. If you don't know, there's a game called Multiversus. It's a fighting game in which characters from popular franchises come together and fight. For example, you can have Batman and Shaggy fight Rick and Tom and Jerry. And for those who don't know, on Twitter there are a bunch of accounts for wanting to get characters into Multiversus. And funnily enough, I actually won one of those accounts, one of those being Godzilla. And keep in mind, there are other accounts who want to get Godzilla into Multiversus as well, so if you want to go and support them, you can. But enough talk. Let's get into my character concept for Godzilla and Multiversus. So first off, we have Breath Attack. This attack is basically just Godzilla's atomic breath. This attack will auto-lock onto an opponent and take 1 second to charge up. After that, the breath attack will fire at the opponent for 3 seconds. But there is a counter to this attack. If you attack Godzilla as he charges up his breath attack, still cancel it, but like I said before, it only takes a second to charge up. The next attack we have is Spawn Building. This attack will spawn in a building that can be used as a defense object. This is because the building stays in place, but it can be destroyed in only a few hits from any fighter. But it acts as a team object, seeing as if your teammate is at a high percentage, you can just spawn the building and both of you can hide behind it. Next up is the Lob Attack. This allows Godzilla to pick up part of the ground and throw it at the opponent. If the player is staying near a building that they spawned in using the Spawn Building attack, Godzilla will instead pick up the building and throw that at the opponent. Now let's get onto Stomp Attack. This has Godzilla stomp his foot down on the ground, and this will not only damage any opponent caught in the attack, but will have a tiny shockwave that knocks other players back, causing a tiny bit of damage. Tail Sweep is next up. This attack is exactly the same attack that Godzilla does in Godzilla vs. Kong, in which he knocks Kong down using his tail. This attack will knock back players while sending them flying. Now we have 2 attacks remaining, and these 2 are powerful. First up, Seismic Reactor. Godzilla will fire his atomic breath at the ground, as he did in Godzilla vs. Kong, and this will send not only a shockwave to players near it, but players hit by it get stuck in place and are dealt massive damage, and after the attack is done, there will be a small area of fire that is left for a few seconds. And now we have reached the final attack in Godzilla's moveset, Seismic Core. This attack is similar to Instinct Shaggy, in which Godzilla glows red and deals double the damage he normally would, and when the attack is used, Godzilla will charge at the opponent, hitting them with his head, knocking them into the air. All these attacks are needed, but can't be used if you can't recover. So for the recovery, Godzilla can jump once, then jump again by swiping his tail in the air, which does not affect players. And just like every other character in the game, when your character grabs the side of a map, they do a little wall slide, so here's what it looked like when Godzilla does it. As for skins, we have 2, those being Atomic Godzilla and Burning Godzilla. And to clear up any confusion, yes, Atomic Godzilla uses the same look when Godzilla uses his breath attack. But I do have a counter for this, and that this is the only model I could find of Godzilla that looks like this, so forgive me. Obviously in the game he'd look a bit different. But after that, of course, we have Burning Godzilla, which is an obvious reference to Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I think it's a very obvious skin everyone wants for Godzilla to have. But for variants, we have 2. Those being Godzilla 2014, which I believe would be the most realistic variant, and would probably be the one they'd add. But there's another one being the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. I only added this version of Godzilla because of the other account for getting Godzilla into Multiversus. Really likes Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. As for emotes, we have 2. For the first one, we have Godzilla roaring into the sky as he did at the end of Godzilla 2014 after killing the female Muto. And for the second emote, we have Godzilla shooting his atomic breath as he did in the film Godzilla King of the Monsters. As for Game Over animations, we have 2 of them, of course. These 2 being his winning animation and losing animation. For Godzilla's winning animation on the Game Over screen, Godzilla does his Alpha Roar that he did at the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. But as for his losing animation, Godzilla walks slowly then falls to the ground just like he did at the end of Godzilla 2014. As for perks, we have 3. First up, Breath Control. This perk will help out the breath attack move that instead of Godzilla's atomic breath auto-locking onto an opponent, the player can control it using their right analog stick on a controller or W and S on a keyboard. Secondly, we have Building Smasher. When you spawn the building, you can destroy it like you do in the normal attack, but the difference is, in this, whoever destroys the building will gain back health, taking the percentage bar down by 10%. And finally, Unleash the Fury. Godzilla's breath attack move deals double the normal damage and lasts 5 seconds longer. Now some of you may be thinking, what would the map be? Well, you've been looking at it. That being Godzilla Temple. This map would act as a final destination in Smash, where the player can't fall off the map in any places. It's just a flat land of area. And as for map decoration, I have two. Map decoration is what I call any references or Easter eggs are in the map that calls back to which the map is based on. So I have two in Godzilla's temple. The most obvious being the giant staircase that leads to the area where Godzilla sleeps to gain his strength, the king of the monsters. And the second being Dr. Serizawa, who would randomly just pop up and walk up to the staircase and sit at the top, similar to what he did in his appearance at King of the Monsters. I could have easily picked a city, a Tokyo, Monster Island, which would have been cool, but I wanted to choose something unique, and something that is unique to this version of Godzilla specifically. Now here's two things that are important to the character, but I didn't come up with. What I mean by this is I did not come up with these ideas. I'm borrowing them from another Godzilla from Multiversus account. These two things are the buyable announcer pack and the music choice. For the buyable announcer, let's just use the announcer from Godzilla Pipeworks trilogy. It's a perfect choice and is iconic and recognizable. Then we have the music choice, which we could use the Blue Oyster Cult Godzilla song, Godzilla's theme from King of the Monsters, and of course a Multiversus remix of the Godzilla theme. These ideas are perfect and I love them so much that I just had to use them in the video because I couldn't think of any better options for music and the announcer. As I've said before in this video, I'm not the only account on Twitter that's trying to get Godzilla into Multiverses, so I thought it'd be nice to have the other account that's trying to get Godzilla into the game into this video and talk for a little bit on the thoughts about this topic and this subject of getting Godzilla into Multiverses. So I'll let them take it away.
Alright, so for me, the reason why I think Godzilla could come to Multiversus is because he is a part of Legendary, like the Monsterverse version of Godzilla is part of Legendary. Toho is okay with crossovers, it seems, because he was in Fall Guys and in Call of Duty Warzone and stuff like that, so I don't see why he couldn't be in Multiversus. And the he's too big argument gets thrown out the window with Iron Giant, because look how big Iron Giant is in his movie, and look how big he is in Multiversus. So size doesn't matter, they can scale him down to Iron Giant size. And yeah, just Godzilla's the most iconic character, like monster, and he is the most iconic Monsterverse character that Legendary currently has besides King Kong. Also, King Kong's possible too. But anyway, yeah. So, I really think Godzilla will come to the game. Hopefully next year. Hopefully. Might come with the release of Godzilla vs. Kong. But we'll see. For moveset ideas, I'd pull some of his moves from Godzilla Save the Earth, which is a fighting game. So, like, take the ability to pick up buildings to throw them. Obviously, you can't do that in Multiversus because there's no buildings in any of the maps, but if they would add a Tokyo map with Godzilla, he could pick up the building and throw it. He could be the only character to do that too, I think. Or him and the other big characters could only do that. His other move would be the ability to, like, tail slide kick. Like, I forget what Godzilla movie it was he did it, but he got on his tail and did like a drop kick. So I think it was Megalon. I forget, but it's like a popular Godzilla meme and stuff. There's another meme where he's flying, and that was in Godzilla vs. Ghidorah. I think it's when he chases after Ghidorah, he like legit flies with his atomic breath and his it's so funny. It's so funny. That could be a moveset, or that could be part of his moveset for him. Obviously, maybe for a perk, he could have an atomic perk where he goes into an atomic state and starts to, like, go into meltdown and stuff, which would become Burning Godzilla, and he could have his ability from King of the Monsters where he would pulsate, and that would be Mothra coming out of him and causing a lot of damage to everyone on the battlefield. Not his teammates, but like the enemies, of course. Be like a huge area of damage thing. But yeah, those are my ideas for perks, his moves, like some of his moves. And yeah, I really would love to see Godzilla in this game. Hopefully he does come. So yeah.
And that's all I have for my Godzilla character concept for Multiverses. Throughout this video, I didn't add any of Godzilla's attacks in the comics or games or any other media because I wanted to only add attacks, taunts, and more that are from the films. Keep in mind this is the Monster vs. Godzilla, of course. seeing as the majority of people only know this Godzilla is from the films, and not his comics or anything else like that. So, if you're hoping for me to pull stuff from the comics and games and stuff like that, I'm sorry, but that couldn't happen. So that's why I didn't see anything relating to that media he's in. I only stuck to the films. And I tried to make this character realistic to what the Multiversus team would most likely do with Godzilla, if brought to the game. I tried to not get too ambitious or wild. The video was made as a showcase for what Godzilla's moveset, perks, and more could look like in Multiverses. I really hope Godzilla gets in this game because not only would it be awesome seeing as he's my favorite character, but if he was brought into Multiverses we could finally get what everyone is asking for, Godzilla in a proper fighting game. Ever since the backlash for Godzilla PS4, which I quite enjoyed the game, people have been asking for a proper Godzilla fighting game. And this would not only give us that, somewhat, but Godzilla could even fight characters like Shaggy, Batman, and maybe even Walter White. And as you all saw in this video, the amount of stuff you can do with Godzilla is incredible. And I just really hope he gets into the game because it would be phenomenal, make a lot of people happy, make Multiverse a lot of money, and Toho some money as well. And overall, it'd just be a great idea that people really want. And keep in mind throughout this video that I'm not a game developer or any of that. I'm not perfect when it comes to character concepts, so if I didn't do anything that was best for the character or movesets that I could have done better or items I forgot to add in, please let me know in the comments because I'm not an expert at this. It's just one person's idea for Godzilla and Multiverses. But with all that out of the way, that's all I have to talk about today. And if you enjoyed, why not go follow my Twitter accounts or subscribe to my channel. I hope you all enjoyed. Godzilla1962 signing off.